Next one, well, you know, they're people of different points of view. I really don't like the last part of the Friday show, the clips of the week. Have to turn the station when it plays. It's just annoying. Now, I want to make a point here. That's obviously opposite of the previous one, which likes the clips of the week. But that survey response came after I read yesterday a comment from Ron, a listener who posted on the blog where we post the clips of the week. And you know the clips of the week, the dumb, sometimes smart, mostly not, things they said all week, all put to music by our producer, David Guggenheim. I read Ron's comments. Ron is a conservative listener from Texas, very conservative. And he hasn't called in a while. And I posted on the blog, he posted on the blog, Ron, on the clips of the week, I hate the clips of the week. They drive me crazy. I can't stand it. Please retire them forever, something like that. And then a whole bunch of the other people chimed in that, no, we love the clips of the week. And I read this yesterday on the program. And it just seems strange to me that somebody posted this after I read that. It just seems interesting. And you know what? Ron sent me an email, too. Heard what I said. Ron is a conservative listener, F to M transgender person from Texas. Wrote me a whole letter about how much money he makes in the oil fields.
Wow.
$5,000 a day.
That's pretty good.
Says he can't call because he gets up and goes into the field from early in the morning, can't use his phone, has his satellites, his stiletto while he's out in the field, listening to the show in the oil rigs, doing all that oil stuff. And, you know. Anyway, that post about the clips of the week came after I read Ron saying he didn't like. Now, what? Come on. This is about, come on. You got to let us know. Because our producer, David Guggenheim, works on these clips of the week very hard. Don't you all love them? Come on. I want to hear from you. 866-305-6887. Toll free across North America.
I've been weepy all day.
Do you agree or disagree with this listener comment who says, I really don't like the last part of the Friday show, the clips of the week. Have to turn the station when it plays. How could you not like it? It brings you back. It reminds you of all of the things we talked about all week. And a lot of them funny things we laughed about on the show. What's not to like? You know? So I do want to hear from those of you who, want to support our clips of the week. Give us a call as I go through the rest of these comments. Next one. Michael, I love the show. I am from Canada, and I listen as often as I can. Keep up the great work. I cannot believe the disproportionate number of very actively engaged Canadian listeners that we have. I'm really heartened by it. I think it's great that I hear from Canadian listeners on the blog, in email, and on the Facebook and MySpace pages. And last night on Facebook, one of our Canadian listeners, and I don't want to say her name wrong because it was the French version, because she's French Canadian, of Stephanie. It's not spelled like Stephanie, Stefan or Stephane or something like. She sent me an instant message and said that she and her boyfriend listened to the show every day, and they just love the show, and she just wanted to instant message me and promise that she wasn't a stalker. So she was another Canadian. I hear from so many Canadians. I hear from more Canadians than probably like people in 3/4 of any of the states. Like more Canadians than definitely like people from Wyoming or people from, I don't know, even New Jersey or something like that. It's just, it's great to hear. Thank you for it. Next one. Okay. I love your show, even though I disagree with you approximately 60% of the time. 60%, right? It is difficult for GLBTs to not fall into the collectivist big brother will take care of me trap. That is exactly how we are as a class, have been exterminated through the centuries. Our specially enumerated American constitutional right of responsible gun ownership provides us more than the heterosexual rednecks who are usually associated, protects us more than the heterosexual rednecks who are usually associated with this issue. The police are there to make a nice report after you are victimized or killed. Please, Mike, just because we are LGBTs doesn't mean that we shouldn't be all about gun rights, concealed carry permits, personal responsibility, and the individual over the collective. Just because you seem to want to be assimilated as some global shared Borg-like existence, many of us do not. We will not continue to choose to live our lives as free American sentient human beings, men and women. We will not be subjugated by controlling agents from the collectivist left, as you apparently are, or by the constraints of the religious far right, just because heterosexual rednecks believe in a constitutional right, such as a clear individual right to bear arms. This should not automatically mean that we are not well served by the very same constitutional right. You are not just committing a logical fallacy. You are putting yourself and your listeners in the easy to victimize column. Your choice, but an unfortunate one.
Man.
Wow. That's some crazy comment, isn't it? 866-305-6887. I'll read some more, but let's take some calls. David in Houston, you're on the Michelangelo Signorelli Show.
Hi, Mike. I always relish the opportunity to be able to compliment you and your show on the air and maybe address Ron a little bit. I'm curious as to why Ron doesn't like the clips of the week. Does he not like hearing the things that other conservatives seem to say on being set to a disco beat?
Well, you know what Ron wrote, and you can go read it on the blog in the comments on last week's Clips of the Week on Friday. And this just tells you what Ron's all about. And I'm sorry, Ron, I know you're listening out in the oil field on your stiletto, but you make $5,000 a day. Ron says, I don't listen because high frequencies or something about frequency. He's got a problem with his ears. Well, that doesn't mean the clips of the week are bad. That means you have a problem. So you don't want us to play them because there's something wrong with your ears that you can't take high frequencies. Don't you find that a tad selfish? Right, David?
Definitely. And I think that, after having had the pleasure of meeting both you and Mr. Guggenheim last May, which was truly one of the highlights of my life, I've always been such a huge fan of the show. And even though you and I agree on most things, it prompts a lot of debate and a lot of talk, and the clips of the week are a nice summary of some of the bullshit that we have to listen to here on the mainland.
And they are done in such an artful way. And I just think kudos to our producer he works very hard on them, and I think they really just kind of capture what went on the show. David, I want to thank you for giving us a call.